Sir.
Okay, good evening. We will start with our discussion. Our discussion for today is all about capacitors. I have already sent to you some pictures regarding capacitors. Anyway, kanang musod, please kindly mute. Okay, what is capacitance? So now, capacitance is the property of a circuit which opposes any change in voltage in circuit in voltage. It is the ability of the circuit system to store electricity. Meaning to say, instead nga musaka, say for example, there is a fluctuation of voltage, instead nga ang voltahe musaka, ang may tabo, if you have connected a capacitor to your circuit, what will happen is that it will just absorb the increase in voltage. That is why, katong mga hilig dire og a symbol og sounds, usually, ang speaker, butangan na siya capacitor in parallel. Meaning to say, kung mo na yung speaker, iyang butangan diha, butangan niya capacitor. Sa may purpose, so that kung kalit og kusog, ang may tabo, dili makaya sa imong speaker, masunog imong speaker. But if you put a capacitor, what will happen is that i-absorb niya ang increase in voltage. Okay, napadaylain. Capacitance is the ratio between the charge on either plate of a capacitor and the potential difference between the plates. The capacitance of a capacitor is measured in farads and is determined by the formula capacitance is equals to charge per voltage. Meaning to say, usually, you have two plates. Two plates. Atong kunik ka ng wire. Kani po siya, kunik ka na itong wire dire. Kana, kung ato na siyang butangan o voltage source, say for example, a battery, what will happen is that muagi ang electrons dire, di ba? Muagi ang electrons dire, may tabuan niya, nani siya ay napuno ni electrons dire. Negative, connected man siya sa negative terminal sa muhang battery. Diri sad, syempre, nani siya gitawag og lack holes or lack of electrons or katong mga positively charged. Meaning to say, ang mga atoms diri positively charged. Now what will happen? They will attract with each other, di ba? They will attract with each other, and because these charges produce electric field, nani siya electric field diri. Although basically na electric field diha, na electric field na diri. Gusto siya mulabang. Meaning to say electric field is basically mura na siya og magnetic field in a sense nga gusto sila mag-combine ang positive ug negative, but they cannot do so because from the definition of the capacitor, it is two conductors separated by a dielectric. When we say dielectric, that is insulator. Gusto sila mulabang, but di siya kalabang tungod kay kaning diri is bakante. Meaning to say, dielectric, it is a material that doesn't support a generous flow of electricity. Okay, anyway, anaw na to pag-measure. Na dire, charge per voltage, where Q is a charge which is, ang unit niya is in coulombs on one of the conductors, and V is the potential difference in volts between the conductors. So dire makita nato natay potential difference between the two conducting plates. Why? Because kaning usa i-connect na to sa negative, ang kaning usa i-connect na to sa positive. Anyway, yun na ni. What is a capacitor? Capacitor is an electrical device used to supply capacitance in a circuit. It is also known as electrical condenser. A device for storing an electrical charge. It is in its simplest form, a capacitor consists of two metal plates separated by a non-conducting layer called dielectric. So now, two metal plates, meaning to say plate that is murasig plato, separated by a non-conducting, so dili conductor, which is called a dielectric. When one plate is charged with electricity from the direct current or electrostatic source, the other plate will have induced in it a charge of the opposite sign. Okay. Kung sa may mga example sa capacitor. Okay. Mag-search ta. Para makita mo example sa capacitor. Okay. Muna yung mga example sa capacitors. So for sure, nakita na mo mga inani, no? Okay. O, kani siya. Muna siya mga capacitor example. Okay. A very good example of a capacitor is kanang ibutang sa atong fluorescent. Di ba sa fluorescent namin tayo gitawag og starter? Di ba? Kita na mo starter. Kanang sa fluorescent ba, inyong suga sa inyong balay, kung fluorescent nang gigamit, na siya starter nga. Kung why starter, bisan pagbago kayo yung muhang fluorescent nga tubo, bago kayo mong balas, di gino siya mo-start. Why? Because during the start of the fluorescent lamp, ang may tabo na niya, kinahanglan na siya kusog kay kurente. So that, inig-on mo sa switch, ang may tabo, ang unang musiga is ang starter or condenser. Muna siya. Ning-store siya og energy. Pag store siya, iyang ibugwak og kalit. Nibugwak niya kalit, ang may tabo, musiga, imuhang fluorescent. Okay? So muna yung mga different types of capacitors. Kani siya is electrolytic capacitors. Kani, electrolytic ni siya. Duha ka buk iyang polarity na ay positive na ay negative. Kani siya is ceramic capacitor. Wala ni siya polarity. So daghang klase nga capacitors. Okay. So balik ta. Capacitors are limited in the amount of electric charge they can absorb. So na limit mo nang natay gitawag og C is equals to Q per V. They can conduct direct current for only an instant but function well as conductors in alternating current. So usually, function kuno siya well as a conductor for alternating current. When we say alternating current, mo itong plus minus. But in direct current, dili siya. Iyang i-absorb ang kurente. This property makes them useful when direct current must be prevented from entering some parts of an electric circuit. Fixed capacity and variable capacity capacitors are used in conjunction with coils as resonance circuits in radios. Okay? So mo na gitawag og resonance circuit because capacitor has the capacity to block direct current. It has also the capacity to, especially if it is being used together with coils, mo na gitawag na tong inductors. Kung pariso na silang duha capacitor o inductors, ang may tabuan na is that it has the capability to block a certain frequency. Okay. This is the main reason nga nung og imong i-tune imong radyo to 92.3 MHz madungog nimo ang tingog sa FM nga 92.3. Ug ari sa kamo tuyok ug naka sa syudad ari kamo tuyok sa 107.5, amitabo ang madungog nimo nga tingog is ang 107.5 ra gyud. Nga naman because ang uban nga frequency iyang gi-block and allow the passage of only 107.5 megahertz frequency. So mo iyang gamit. Large capacitors are also employed in power lines to resonate the load on the line and make it possible for the line to transmit more power. So nasa tayo mga kapasitor. Nasa mga gitawag og capacitor banking for transmission of power transmission nga naman because kung alternating current good niya, most of our loads in our houses are inductive loads, like for example kanang mga motors, mga So for example, mga ref, mga aircon, may tabuan na niya, is mga inductive loads na siya. Now, kung di mo na siya balansan o capacitor, ang mahitabo, dako kay ka power factor, dako kayo imong gibayran, but gamay, sa tinuod lang, na loss na siya, energy loss na siya. Dili efficient ang imuhang system. So that is why mag-install og capacitor bank sa ang Sibeco. Capacitors are produced in a wide variety of forms. Air, mica, ceramic, paper, oil, and vacuums are used as dielectrics. Take note, dielectric is a type of material that is also an insulator or a material that doesn't support a generous flow of electricity. Meaning to say, dili siya conductor. So it could be, ang iyang gamit is air, meaning to say hangin. Duha ka conducting plates, wa sila mag-abot, muna na air. Mica is a kind of type of material nga dielectric sad. Ceramics, kailan tag ceramics kanang mga plato. Paper, pwede paper there because paper is non-conductor. Oil, usually ang oil gigamit na siya sa Sibeco kanang dagko kayo nga murag baril nga gipambitay sa kuan, dielectric na siyang oil diha. Although that is not a capacitor, that is a transformer. And vacuum. So when we say vacuum, walay hangin, wala po tanan. Wala tanan yun. Vacuum yun. Walay matter. Depending on the purpose of which the device is intended. Capacitor is a device that stores electrical charge. It consists of two charged metal plates that are separated by an insulator. Charges of opposite signs collect on its plate when a potential difference or voltage is applied across the plates. The amount of charge increases as the voltage increases. The ability of a capacitor to store charge is called its capacitance. It is used to help regulate the current in electrical circuit. What is a capacitor charge? Capacitor charge is the flow of electrons onto one plate and away from the other, resulting in a negative charge on one plate and a positive charge on the other. Take note ha, kung imutanawon din sa itong drawing ganiha, di ko na mahitabo nga ang kapasitor mo pass og DC. Ano man? Because they are not connected. What is capacitor discharge? Capacitor discharge is the flow of electrons from the negatively charged plate of a capacitor to the positively charged plate, eliminating the charges of the plate. Okay? So kung nakay-charge mo nang, meaning to say, absorb siya o kurente, nasa kay discharge mo, pagawas siya o kurente. What is farad? Farad is the basic unit for capacitance where 1 coulomb of charge for 1 second yields a potential difference of 1 volt. Okay, take note. Labi na itong mga TV sa una, katong mga TV nga, katong mga buktot nga TV, katong mga dagko kay nga TV gani, katong naay mga buko-buko. Okay? Bisan pag imo na siyang paungon, di gyud ka magpataka-taka og abli ana niya. Imo nang ablihan, ang mga capacitor ato niya wala pa to ma-discharge. Meaning to say, wala pa ma-discharge. Magpataka kag hikap, di ka suhito, imo na hikapon, mahitabo na nimo, makurintihan ka. Ya, o makurintihan ka, maawaw na ka mo, tindog. Kaya dagko kayo ng kurintihan ng TV nga buktot, katong cathode ray tube, katong mga CRT nga TV. Maabot na yung mga voltahe ato nga maabot og tag 5,000 volts, 10,000 volts. Yun ana. Oops. Factors that influence the capacity of capacitor. The area of the plates. Plate area is a basic factor in determining the amount of capacitance varies directly. Determining the amount of capacitance. It varies directly with the area of the plates. A large plate area has room for more excess electrons than a small area, and thus it can hold a greater charge. Similarly, the large plate area has more electrons to give up and will hold a much larger positive charge than a small plate area. Therefore, an increase in plate area increases the capacitance, and a decrease in plate area decreases the capacitance. Mas dako ang plate, mas dako ang capacitance. The distance between the plates or the thickness of the dielectric. The effect of two charged bodies have on each other depends on the distance between them. Since capacitance depends on the ability to accumulate charge, the amount of capacitance charges when the distance between the plates changes. The capacitance between two plates increases as the plates are brought closer together and decreases as the plates are moved farther apart. Therefore, the closer usa ka duol ang plates are to each other, the greater the effect a charge on one plate will have on the charge of the other. Meaning to say, kung mas duol, mas dako og capacitance. Nga naman, dako mag-epekto. Ang usa ka plate, dako og epekto sa pikas sa plate. The material used for the dielectric. When the plates have fixed area and certain distance apart, then the capacitance will change if different insulating materials are used for the dielectric. The effect of different materials is compared to that of air. That is, if the capacitor has a given capacitance, when air is used as a dielectric, other materials used instead of air will multiply the capacitance by a certain amount called the dielectric constant. The thickness of the dielectric is determined by the voltage rating of the capacitor. Okay, so one of my examples of dielectric material: air, mica, paper, ceramic, plastic, metal, metallic oxide. Now, when capacitors are connected in series, lahi kini siya sa atong nahibaw-an sa resistance. Binali ni siya. Take note. In this example, a series connected capacitor C1, C2, C3, ang total capacitance niya is 1 over C is equals to 1 over C1 plus 1 over C2 plus 1 over C3. The same ni siya nga formula atong resistors connected in parallel. But ang iyang total voltage is just equals to pariha ra gyapon V1 plus V2 plus V3. Take note ani ha. Anyway, naam ni sa Google Form o Google Classroom na to. Okay. Capacitor charge. Q is equals to V1 C1 is equals to V2 C2 is equals to V3 C3. Okay. So mo na siya. V1 C1, V2 C2 equal ra yung capacitor charge. Energy charge. When we say energy, that is the ability to do work. So therefore, we can just simply say work or work. That is 1/2 QV, or that is equivalent to 1/2 CV squared. Kadungog naman ako. Hello, kadungog mo? Kadungog mo? Hello? Kadungog mo? Nakadungog mo na ko? Kadungog na mo na ko?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Naputol. Naputol. Ako po din naputol. Anyway. Anyway, kadyo sa kamay lang kamay. Naputol ko dili mo siguro tong loading pud mo diha. Okay. So for voltage drop, again, because V1 is equals to V2, mo to no? Tumalikod. V1, day, V is equals to V1 plus V2 plus V3, meaning to say, lahi siya voltage drop kada usa. And but for current, same with resistors connected in series. Yan naman, of course, kay ang ihang yagian sa kuryente is usara. Di ba? Moagi siya dire, gawa sa positive, agi sa imong tulo ka resistor, sud balik sa imuhang negative. Okay? So take note, ang iyang mga letters, ang W is energy, I is current, Q is charge, and V is the potential difference or volts. Now for capacitors in parallel, dinhi gyud lahi jud kay siya. Pareha siya, equivalent siya sa series connected resistors. Take note, for total capacitance, C is equals to C1 plus C2 plus C3. C1 plus C2 plus C3. For voltage, V is equals to V1 equals to V2 equals to V3. Whatever sa voltage dire, the same sa voltage dire. Ano man? Again, they are connected in parallel. Common man. For total capacitor charge, Q is equals to Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3. For energy charge, energy is equals to 1/2 Q times B, or 1/2 CV squared, or the work, or energy is equals to 1/2 Q squared all over C. For voltage drop, V is equals to V1 is equals to V2 is equals to V3, and for current, total current is equals to I is equals to I1 plus I2 plus I3. When calculating capacitance in series or in parallel, it is important to remember that all capacitances to be added must be in the same unit, such as farads, microfarads, or picofarads. For example, three capacitors whose capacitance are 10 microfarad, 20 microfarad, and 30 microfarad are connected in series. Find equivalent capacitance of the combination. Again, mubalik ta because they are connected in series. Ari ta dire. Connected in series, mo niyang total capacitance. Pareha sa resistors connected in parallel. So, itong balikon, 1 over C, total capacitance is equals to 1 over C1, 1 over C2 plus 1 over C3. Or 1 over C is equals to 1 over 10, 1 over 20 plus 1 over 30. I-add na niya, paguman, gi-reciprocal. Hindi reciprocal, C is equals to 5.4545 microfarad. Take note, aning ibutang dili nga note sa farad ganatanan, dapat farad sa tanan aron imong ma-add. Kung microfarad, hindi ko kaka-add na niya. Imo pa nang i-change into farad, or i-change mo into microfarad. Kung picofarad, that is just equivalent to farad but times 10 to the negative 12. Sample problem. Three capacitors whose capacitors are 15, 20, and 25 are connected in parallel. Calculate the equivalent capacitance of the combination. So they are connected in parallel. So kung connected ka in parallel, atong balikon, tanawon to dire, mura siya og series connected resistors, di ba? C1 plus C2 plus C3. Okay? So, farads naman siya, 15 farads, 20 farads, 25 farads. It's all C1 plus C2 plus C3, C is equals to 60 farads. Answer. How much energy is stored in a 50 picofarad capacitor when it is charged to a potential difference of 200 volts? Pila ko ng energy. So asa man na dapita? Ari ka din mo tanaw sa formula. Energy, 1/2 QV, or 1/2 CV squared, or 1/2 Q squared over C. So sa may given, what are the given? Energy, what is asked? Energy stored. Sa may given, capacitance, which is 50 picofarad. So kani mong gamiton kay na may C, which is 50. Ang voltage is 200 volts. So dara. Pico man siya. So 50 picofarad. So sa to ba? 50 times 10 to the negative 12. 200 squared. I-compute. Naka-answer nga 1 times 10 to the 6 joules. Joules, by the way, is the unit for energy. Another sample problem. 2 microfarad and 3 microfarad capacitors are connected in series. What is their equivalent capacitance? They are connected in series man. So mo na itong gigamiton, di ba? Kung when we say connected in series, mura siya og resistors connected in parallel. So therefore, C is equals to C1 times C2 all over C1 plus C2. Answer is 1.2 microfarad. Sa letter B nga question, a potential difference of 500 volts is applied to the combination. Find the charge on each capacitor and potential difference. Find the charge on each capacitor and the potential difference across it. Okay? So, mo ni. They are connected in, ano to siya? Connected in series. Now, kung connected in series, asa itong connected in series? Dara dire tak connected in series. Unsa man to ang charge ano niya? Ang charge niya is just equals to Q is just equals to Q1 equals to Q2 equals to Q3. So equal na di ay. So mo na nga ang hitabo ni mo dire is Q is equals to Q1 is equals to Q2. But kay bota sa capacitance niya, total capacitance which is 1.2 microfarad, ang iyang voltahe is pila to? Nato gigiven sa letter B nga problem na dire 500 volts. So nitabo 1.2 microman, so times 10 to the negative 6. Di ba? Katong ganiha dire ngano negative 12 do tungod kay pico. Pico farad, pico man. Anam na siya milli negative 3. Micro, negative 6. Nano, negative 9. Pico, negative 12. So, kani siya kay micro 1, microfarad, negative 6 ang gamiton. Times of 500, you have a charge of 6 times 10 to the negative 6. Unit for charge is coulombs. But that is not what is asked by the problem. Oh, that is not what is only asked by the problem. We are asked to find the charge and the potential difference. So, sa may potential difference? Across capacitor 1, V1 is equals to, naman tayo formula, daray. Formula, series man to, so ari ta dire, daray. V1 times C1. Kung atong ipangita ang V1, Q na nato over C1. Di ba? Gamitan na nato kuan algebra. Okay? So V1 is equals to Q all over C1. Ang Q na to is sayop lagi ni siya. 6 times 10 to the negative 6 dili. Ito sa padakon ha. Ay basig na libat ra ko. Sayop ni siya. Sa maning to. Ako sa balikon diri ha. Sa maning to. 2 microfarad. C1 dahil no? C1 Q over C1. 2 times 10 kay 2 microfarad man. 6 times 10 to the negative 4. Parallel man to no? O series? Series ba to ang problem? So tanaw na. Are connected in series. Okay. So arin tatanaw sa series. B1, B2. B1, Q over C1, Q over C2, Q over C3. Mo lagi Q ni siya. Anong negative 6 man ni siya? Ako sang sulbon ha. Gamitan tong calcio. Eh basig na sayo pa na typographical error. 6 ay di na. 6 times 10 exponential 6 times 10 exponential 4. So na may calcio eh. Six, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 over 2. Ay, sakto. Sayop ning ibabaw. Sayop ning ibabaw no, 1.2 times 500. Kung 1.2 nimo times nimo 500, that is equals to 600. Times 10 to the negative 6 man eh. So may tabo, nahimo naman yung 6, negative 4 na siya. Bangon yung libro ha. Okay? Ato ko ni sulbon, aron maklaro ninyo. Stop sa akong sharing. Okay, tanaw sa board. Atong sulbon, na akong picturean. Okay, so ang problema ni na series connected resistors of capacitors. Na series connected capacitors. 2 microfarad series connected capacitors. Yun ang forma. Ang usa 2 microfarad, ang usa is 3 microfarad. And they are connected to a voltage source which is equivalent to 500 volts. Okay, so yun na ang forma. Now we're asked to find for the total capacitance. Again, for total capacitance, pareha na sa itong buhaton sa parallel connected resistors. So we have, tuloy ng CT. Total capacitance is equals to, tawag na C1 kani C2. C1 multiplied by C2 all over C1 plus C2. Or CT is equals to 2 microfarad multiplied by 3 microfarad all over 2 plus 3. Or CP, total capacitance, 2 times 3, 6. 6 over 5. So gamitan na itong calcio. 6 divided 5, that is 1.2. 1.2 microfarad. Mo ni answer sa number 1 problem. Next, number 2 problem. A potential difference of 500 volts is applied to the combination. Find the charge on each capacitor. Now, because it is a series connected capacitor, series connected man siya, the total charge is just equals to Q1 is just equals to Q2. Nga naman, kaya dire, kung usay charge siya dire, alam ni siya, ig-agi sa yung positive dire, ang may tabo, mo induce siya og charge, muhatag dire, mahimo nig negative dire. Ang negative dire, muhatag ko dire, mubalik ko dire, mahimo positive mo na nga mudagan dire ang kurente. Yung anak. Induce siya og positive na charge. Okay, anyway, yung anak. No? So igualis na siya. Ako kan igualis sa whatever is the charge of the capacitor, total charge, and the charge of each capacitor. Okay, susunod buhaton. But we all know from our discussion in the previous, during the start of the class, Q is equals to C over V. C over V. C times V. Q is equals to capacitance times V because capacitance is coulombs per voltage times voltage, di ba? Okay, so sa itong buhaton, total capacitance itong gamiton, the charge is equals to total capacitance 1.2 divided by the total voltage which is 500. 1.2, this is microfarad, this is times 10 to the negative 6 farad. This is 500 volts. Farad is actually, our capacitance is actually coulombs per volt man siya. Di ba? So may tabo, volt and volt cancel, ang nabilin nga unit is coulombs. So 1.2 divided by 500. Nga nung ga-divide, mag-go nga times mo na, bugo. Sorry. 1.2 times 10 to the negative 6 coulombs multiplied by coulombs, or that is coulombs per volt multiplied by 500 volts. Volts and volts cancel, and nabilin nga unit is coulomb. 1.2 times 500. So gamitan na itong calcio. Times 500. Answer is 600. 600 times 10 to the negative 6 coulomb. But 600 man eh. Pwede na ito siya mairog. Di ba naman rin decimal places? Muirog na kaduha, may tabuan niya, mahimo na siyang 6 times niinong man kaduha, makuhaan po siya kaduha times 10 to the negative 4 coulombs. Mo na siya nga atong charge. Okay, ang pangutana karon sunod is find the charge on each capacitor. O di day. Sa to sunod nga pangutana last and the potential difference across it of each capacitor. Okay, the same man ilang charge tanan. The same ilang charge tanan, but dailahi ang ilang capacitance. So, but we can now use the formula voltage is equals to charge per capacitance. So, sugod na sa B1, B1 is equals to, ang charge na to is 6 times 10 to the negative 4 coulombs all over capacitance. B1, 2. 2 times 10 to the negative 6 farad. Or V1 is equals to 6 divided by 2, 3. Negative 4 minus negative 6. 3 times 10 to the 2 volts. Bilang ng 3 times 10 to the 2. That is 10 to the 2 is 100. 3 times 100, that is 300 volts. V2. V2 is equals to the same charge, 6 times 10 to the negative 4 coulomb per, ang iyang capacitance is kani, 3 times 10 to the negative 6 farad. V2 is equals to 6 divided by 3, that is 2. Negative 4 minus negative 6, that is plus 6, negative 4 plus 6 times 10 to the 2 volts. Or V2 is equals to 10 to the 2 is 100 times 2, that is 200 volts. Answer. Okay. Again, ako ni picturean but wala ko yung cellphone. Anyway, ato lang nang makita naman siguro ninyo, no? Ilan ito napapason, ato lang na picturean to taon. Okay, atong i-check kung sakto ba itong answer using sa share screen. Okay? So Q over C1, sakto itong answer, 300 volts and 200 volts. Any questions? Kasabot mo, wa?
Sabot ra, sir.
Kasabot ra kaday, anyura?
Yes, sir.
Naway ni
Sabot
chat.
gamay, sir.
Si Badayos, lingon siya loading kuno kayo. Sa may galoding dong Badayos, ikaw o ang signal? Okay. Anyway, again, I will try to picture this one and send it in our group chat. Okay. Next meeting, di ta mag-meet tomorrow kay tomorrow is the 11th anniversary sa CTU. 11 years as a university. November 10. So timan-an gyud ninyo kay part naman mo sa CTU family. So mag-check ra attendance dili ta magklase. But Wednesday mag-exam. First part sa itong exam sa Wednesday is theory, meaning to say multiple choice. Ano lang gyapon ta sa Google Classroom. Then probably second part na niya will be problem solving. Okay? You try to read kung mahimo kanang gipang padana ko nga picture kanang nasa Google Classroom, try to write it down. Anya inyong sundon. Ya kinahanglan namoy calculator nga scientific. Kay og dili scientific inyong calculator pareha nako karon magkabungbuang. Ako gamit is calculator sa computer although scientific ni siya but lahi yung kayo. Lahi ang iyahang algorithm kaysa kung nakay calculator nga Casio. Okay? Kasabot tanan?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Dong, Daniel, Aniban, kasabot ra ka dong?
Sabot ra, sir.
Sige na ba kakaputol, no?
Oh.
Anyway, ako
Salamat po, sir.
Oh, ako kay po ning gi-record, then I will upload this to YouTube. Dili na ko mo upload sa akong sa ni sa akong Google Drive kay may tabo ato god ug mutan-aw mo ato niya kinahanglan pa ninyo i-download. Di ba? Whereas kung mag-YouTube ta, nindot siya kay pwede ra mo mag-live stream samtang katan-aw mo. I will upload this in YouTube probably tomorrow na. Kay mag-convert pa man ni siya. Okay, walay pangutana? Wala si Kutumi, no? Wala si Kutumi. So kindly ko na lang. Say preset na lang sa GC na to or di ba i-message niyo si Kutumi. Murag wala siya basig way signal sa ilaha or basig water load. Okay? Thank you class for listening. See you Wednesday pohon.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so prepare mo ha niya. Ang atong exam ha, ini Wednesday is, parang po sa una, 1 hour akong ihatag. After 1 hour, dili na pwede mo answer. Sugod siguro ako, magsugod og 6:30, 7:30 mahuman. Magsugod og 6:10, 7:10 mahuman. So, please be online during our time. No? Kay, importante kayo.
Way hangyo na, sir.
Ha?
Way hangyo na.
Pwede na naman hangyo og imo na tong 1.5 hours depende sa exam. But kinahanglan nga online. Namang uban god nga nagsalig ra ba? Dili mo online kay nagsalig ra igor am suwat itong present ya pasangin lang yan way signal sa mga sir loading kay sir. Sa ako nang ginaingon kung gusto may paraan, kung ayaw may maraming dahilan. So sa to pa kanang sigig present, sigig maminaw, I'm sure gabalik-balik ra man ning mga tawhana mao ra man gyud ni filming na sa Zoom. Katong uban, wa man gito, igor gito sa dito present niya, maglibog ko inig hatag na ang exam maka-answer, pero pareha og answer sa iyang mga classmates. So most probably nagkopyahan na. But anyway, it's not dili man ko ako alkanse kung mangupya mo, no? Kay kung mangupya mo, matagan mo grado na kung dako kay kinupya ninyo. But wa man mo nakatunan, wa may suod yung o. Di ko alkanse, mo ra gyud alkanse, di ba? Mura lang inyong gitikasan inyong kagalingon. Okay? Okay, that is all for today. Tonight, day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir.